Hello friends, I'm Nukebrush, and today we are going to make Heavy Laser Tank Hunter, the Bushwhacker.
Time to go nuclear.
The model came to me already printed, but still in need for some assembly before painting. I cleaned traces from supports and installed magnets on removable parts. Assembly of the model itself is absolutely not difficult, parts fit together pretty well and there are structural grooves for large elements. Main inconvenience is gluing side steps to the body, since this must be done with tweezers. I decided to assemble model with machine gun and command cupola, protective guards and tracks, and also with the ability to easily replace ventilation port with an anti-aircraft turret. After gluing, we proceed to priming. Grey Nitro Primer Mystery Surfacer 1000 is excellent for coverage and identifying possible defects that need to be eliminated. In addition, it also acts as a filler, smoothing out microsteps formed during printing of the model. Discovered imperfections were filled with liquid putty primer Mystery Surfacer 500 and lightly sanded, after which a second layer of primer was applied. Let's work on tracks and the lower part of the body. I paint them rusty using one-shot primer brown oxide. Since the tracks could not be painted separately, firstly we must bring them to the condition we need and then protect them with masking tape. To create a rust effect on tracks, I have used different shades of rust paint, diluted with water and applied in layers. After drying, the paint creates a non-uniform spotty effect that we need. Then we can proceed to the dry brush process to create the appearance of warm metal tracks. I used dry brush paints gunmetal and light metal. Darker paint is applied heavily to the entire surface of the tracks, however lighter metallic is applied only to the most protruding parts with light brush pressure. At this stage, work with tracks is finished and they can be masked before we could proceed for further work with the body. Now we can apply the undercoat primer for the base color. I used one-shot primer green as it gives a nice medium green base which is convenient for working with shadows. Green color is applied in one thin layer, with attention to all details and elements. After drying, you can start highlighting the detailing. To do this, we use dark green paint and an airbrush, so we will make shadows for all relevant places: recesses, riveting, fasteners, etc. Don't forget about applying shadows to individual removable elements: main gun, ventilation port, gun turret and its weapons, so on. When the pen dries, we begin to apply main green color. It will unify light color of the base and the applied shadows. I chose the partial zenith lighting method, so the elements located in the upper parts of the model should be, well, lighter. After that, I begin to make highlights with light green paint, only for the most illuminated, brightest places. Now it's time for the brush. Using bright green, yellowish paint, we highlight all the elements of jointing and decoration, small rivets, the upper parts of the bolted joints, corners and protruding edges. This way we create additional contrast between dark and light areas. Don't forget about removable elements. It's a painstaking process, I know, but believe me, it's worth it. Let's now work on the other unpainted parts of the model. I'm going to use a steel color paint for all metallic parts of the tank, main gun, grills, charging coils, machine gun and turret weapons, different hinges and side steps. While the paint dries, we can make stencils for applying large markings. The general concept of the tank that I am creating is not a mass product exemplar, so the marking should also be unique, with a number on one side and a unit symbol on the other. To create stencil, I use simple paper with a regular tape over it and with masking tape on top. This is quite simple, cheap method that gives nevertheless predictable result. Try only to stick the tape without wrinkles and use fresh blade for carving. I stick and smooth stencils onto the tank sides and cover areas around the stencil to avoid unnecessary paint overspray. For the base of markings I chose solid grey color, and final result will be achieved with satin white. According to my idea, optical and other lenses should attract attention to the model. On this tank, these are common cupola triplexes, turret gun optics and headlights. I chose bluish cyan paint as a base color for lens. The lens effect on the optics is created by contrasting paints, bright light in the lower left corner and dark one in the upper right. Final blue color and shine for the lenses is provided by the blue paint varnish Crystal Light Blue, and for the headlights I have used darker color Crystal Black Blue. I will be using decals, so I cover all model with gloss varnish. I've used model chemistry, first mark Setter Neo to install the decals, and then mark Softer Neo for better integration. Now let us use washes. I use synthetic brush as I work with enamel product. The nuance of using wash on a 3D printed model is the presence or absence of steps and thresholds on a seemingly smooth surface. With a brush you can control the application of wash both in the recesses and around the protruding elements of the body. I applied dark brown wash for green vehicles for the green color parts, and metal details were emphasized with black wash. Applying the wash is a painstaking process, but the result is a model with clearly defined shadows and details. Painting and burnout effect on the exhaust pipes were left behind the scenes. Write in comments if you are interested in how it was done. Work with washes should be protected with matte varnish. Let us build the effect of usage of the tank by operators, natural weathering, as well as damage received. Chipping and scratches could be created by sponge and brush. With sponge, we apply several small dots at once, which we can combine with a brush. Light green yellowish paint creates the effect of chipped top layer of paint of the tank. We apply it quite vertically, but mainly in those places where such chips can occur: chassis and lower parts of the tank, weapons, hatches, steps, so on. Over light chips we apply darker paint, which imitates the effect of rust which was formed as a result of deep scratch to the metal. There may be not many such places, so it is not necessary to apply dark paint over all light chips, only to the largest ones or in those places that need to be emphasized. When work with chips is completed, the model should be coated with matte varnish again. Lastly, I pinpointed small details on tank here and there, showing streaking of rust, fuel and engine oil leakages and stains, imitation of overheated metal and soot deposits on the main gum. Here is the finish. All that remains is to apply the last layer of matte varnish and voila, the tank is ready. Good luck with your models and see you soon!